Should I be scared? Send help, call the police. Happy Monday, everybody. You know, we talk a lot about the woke, and why not? They're fun to talk about. They're so ugly. In a way, it's fun to talk about any clueless group, whether they're extreme vegans or Maroon 5 or Fox and Friends hosts.
Excuse me. I'm on tonight.
Also, the woke are just fun to watch.
Pregnant person or person that could become pregnant.
Can you provide a definition for the word woman?
I can't.
You can't?
Not in this context.
So
I'm not a biologist.
But what you cannot do is to label a person illegal.
There is no such thing as an illegal human.
I am Kamala Harris. My pronouns are she and her. I am a woman sitting at the table wearing a blue suit.
But there's more than one kind of woke. If you define woke, it's someone who's awake, perhaps with an angrier consciousness. Of course, they have to share this newfound rage with everyone as they seek to infect every crevice of society with their unbridled ignorance. The woke had a few good years now to undo society, attacking traditional family structures, societal safety and security. But like Jamie Lissow at his own home, it's no longer welcome. And it's created a rebound woke, which has come in the shape of something monstrous, powerful, and really scary. Some people do call it a birthing person, but we still call him Mom.
Introducing Mom's Gone Wild Volume 6. It's the hottest collection of fierce females fighting for their kids. Jam-packed onto one VHS tape. All your favorite anti-woke warriors are here, like moms fighting leftist school boards, moms fighting for fair sports, moms fighting to keep drag queens out of the library, and moms fighting to keep boys out of the girls' bathroom. Plus, tons of hot tennis moms, hot yoga moms, and hot construction worker moms. We even have hot grandmas. It's the Hot Moms, Hot Moms.
Wow, that's awesome.
It's Mom's Gone Wild, and if you call now, we'll throw in the sexiest hot tub dads.
Hot tub dads. The things I did for money. But true, moms are back, belligerent and buzzed on watermelon margaritas. But first, let's look how the woke first targeted them. First, they said men can get pregnant. That's total BS. I've tried many times. I just don't have the hips for it. The woke also maintain men can have periods, which is baloney, too. The closest I've come to having a period is spilling marinara on my khakis. They also say men can compete against your daughters in sports. But this apparently only goes one way. Trans women can swim and wrestle, but good luck seeing trans men in the NBA. Follow the money and the trans experiment dries up like my elbows in January. Meanwhile, look at the biological men who've barged into women's sports and women's locker rooms. That's masculinity more toxic than anything Kamala's husband can point to. And he lives with a cackling chemical spill. Third, they believe the relationship between mother and child can be intruded upon by a stranger, and not even one in a van. It's one with an agenda under the guise of right to privacy, meaning you have no idea that a teacher fresh out of college who's soaked in oppression lingo and hair dye can imprint his, hers, them, theys on your kids, and parents shall not be informed. Right to privacy is code for don't tell mom and dad that for dodgeball we now throw. Which might be fun, actually. They claim it takes a village to raise your child, and they're just the village idiots to do it. And so wokeness became a political mutation of Munchausen by proxy, where people suffering from a manufactured delusion transfer it onto children for attention, sympathy, and now tenure. So, I'm now non-binary, and you are too. I believe the planet is about to die, and so shall you. I have more nose rings than a shower curtain. So shall you. I have more face piercings than someone who tried to commit suicide with buckshot. Snorted. And so will you. It transfers a mind virus from one infected person to another. And the newly infected has no immune system for it because it is a child. But there is an effective booster for it. It's called an angry mom, and it's perfect for fighting the wokeness. True, moms might make you cringe, but that's what moms do. But so do third graders being forced to look at a drag queen suspicious package. So this new woke are Republican moms, independent moms, and over time more and more Democrat moms. And some of these women, God forbid, have become governors. Whoa.
Our new Education Freedom account allows parents to enroll their kids in whatever school is most appropriate for their family. And within 3 years, it'll be available to every family in Arkansas.
So that's a governor, but more importantly, a mom. And she's governing like a mom, not a nanny. So is this new woke more appealing than the old woke? Well, obviously they're better looking, but also moms are not united or tricked by the abstractions of pronouns and hate speech. It's all about practical concerns concerning a struggle for the minds of their own children. That's worth waking up for, and our moms never let anybody sleep late, and these moms won't either. So they're at the school board meetings, at protests, at rallies. They're here to hand out snacks and kick ass, and they're fresh out of trail mix. Let's welcome tonight's guest. When he says you look like $1 million, it's an insult. 2024 presidential candidate Vivek Ramaswamy. If he has to hear one more divorced dad joke, he's going to complain to his kids every other weekend. Actor, writer, and comedian Jamie Lissow. If you ask his family, he's actually not coming to work enough. Host of One Nation and the Brian Kilmeade radio show, Brian Kilmeade. And she's like a picket fence. White, has good points, but don't sit on her. Fox News contributor, Kat Tiff. Calm down, you crazy people. Vivek, welcome back to the show. So what do you have to say to like the parents out there? Where do you stand on all this?
I'd say keep standing up. If you're a mom, if you're a parent, it's your kids, not the kids who belong to the school. It's actually pretty simple.
Yeah.
They used to say that math is racist. That was a popular thing in the woke movement in schools. Yeah. You know, math isn't racist, but you know what might be is not teaching black kids how to do math, which is a big problem in the country. Right. But you know, if there's a mind virus, I think the lab leak for this virus actually was the federal government. It was the Department of Education. And not a lot of people know this, Greg, but they use the money they give to schools. It's not just the school boards that are bad. The money they use is like a handcuff that forces these schools to adopt these woke ideologies. And that's why I've kept it pretty simple. If I'm president, I'm running for president, I say I'm going to shut down the Department of Education because it doesn't actually need to exist. And I think so a lot of these woke cancers start in the bad places you'd expect, actually, in the federal government. So there's actually things we can do about it.
That'd be amazing. Shut down the Department of Education. Replace it with like a hot pretzel truck. That way they can say, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Check this out. It's like a hot pretzel truck. Jamie, in your life, that would be amazing for you because then, you know, you probably don't eat well.
That's true. By the way, how annoying all the woke video. I just got more and more annoyed as those clips were being played. I'm sorry, I will never say birthing people. I will, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I will continue to say people that won't sleep with me.
Yeah.
But for real, I got kids. The kids should.
Why don't you just say Earth?
Yeah, I should have. That umbrella could have been wider. You're right. But you should be able to choose where your kids goes to school. 100%, absolutely. Like we had to change my kids' school. We had teachers. They were getting bullied, and we were homeschooling them.
That's amazing. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, I'm getting tired of like schools in general. I do homework with my kid's in 8th grade. I feel like more work can be done at this. I feel like all they do at school is just give my kid work for me to do when he comes home. For real, it's. Do you know what I mean? It's absolutely exhausting. All I found out doing math was that I wouldn't graduate 8th grade.
Yeah, it's getting harder.
Because it's like there's like X's and Y's. I don't know any. Oh, the only math I know for sure is 1X can equal losing 50% of your.
Brian, at least he's not bitter.
I know, he doesn't seem angry.
First,
do you remember your family?
I do. I have photos and sketches.
They're like, they're outside of this building, which you never leave.
Right.
You have pictures on your desk.
See, you asked them questions.
Yeah.
You attacked me.
Yeah.
And by the way, the only thing, I am very scared of your audience.
Yeah.
They're pumped up and happy, but almost too happy. I can't decide if it's UFC or WWE.
Yeah.
If I have to make a choice.
It's a problem for hosts of Fox and Friends when they come on here. They're not used to being liked.
Right.
No, there are women taking off their tops right now.
Right. That's because it's so hot in here. I do it too. I think what's happened, the only good thing out of the pandemic was now the parents can know they cannot lay back anymore. I mean, between the curriculum that they're learning, between the things that kids are coming home with. We used to be worried that a kid will come home in 8th grade and think, well, global warming is real and it's overrated, and they panic. Now we find out about gender, they're picking their gender. They're deciding whether or not they're going to study. They're deciding that they know more than their parents. And I just think the worst thing they've done is they've gotten women, moms involved, and they're not saying the Democratic Republicans. They're just saying they're angry and they want it fixed. So that helps the Glenn Youngkins of the world. It helps the Ron DeSantis of the world. It helps the Vivek Ramaswamis of the world, who when they talk about school, everybody's all ears. They're not going to say, I want the Democratic women or the Republican women. I like my answer as good as Jamie's and almost as good as Vivek.
No, it reminds me. I remember when little Janet came home from school. She was a junior in high school, and she was talking about how the teacher was telling her about pronouns, and she said she wanted to be a they, so I dumped her. See, that's what happens when Brian talks. I just think of things to say.
Right. And it was worth it. Right?
I just thought of saying that. I didn't even do the math, Kat. Yeah. How are you?
Well, I just love this panel of moms you've assembled to discuss this issue. A bunch of dudes and me. Yeah, I just don't see how it's controversial to be like, you know what, maybe you should have some say where your kid goes to school. Anybody who kind of wants to fight against that idea is implicitly saying that they know for a fact that it's a problem because some schools are very bad. Mm-hmm. And the only reason they're allowed to be so bad is because kids are forced to go to those schools anyway. I don't think the government should have this much say. I think that it's ridiculous. I think that families, parents, they know what's best for their kids, and I don't see how that's controversial.
All right. That was a great block, and we got more blocks to come.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.